Howdy ho neighbors, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little different. I took multiple hours out of my day to get every file for every standard trainer class from every Pokemon game. And I made some tier lists. We're gonna rank each of the sprites for the trainer classes, starting from Gen 1, going all the way through Gen 8, and the few that Masters has. I had way too many. Obviously, they weren't all going to fit in the one tier list, so I figured splitting them by Gen was the best option. So, of course, we have S through F. S for being the absolute best. How do people do, can you, save these now that I think about it? Presentation mode. That's how. And smart cookie. Okay. So, in Gen 1, obviously the sprites are a little more basic. They're all kind of in black and white. I decided to go with the normal ones instead of the yellow ones, except for, of course, Jesse and James. It looks like we're starting with the beauty. So something I noticed, especially starting with the beauty, is if you pay attention, all of the Gen 1 trainers look very angry, except for the hiker.
And Mr. Monopoly.
Yeah, and Mr. Monopoly.
And that guy.
But disregarding that, honestly, I think it works well for the beauty. As she dropped her Pokeball there for some reason. You see that?
Threw it to the side.
Wait, did she throw it behind her back like that?
If so.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
Props.
Also, what's with the pose she's in? She's like, nah.
Well,
please don't let me keep that in the video.
Well, she's throwing it kind of. She's probably like...
I don't know what it's supposed to be.
I don't know, but I can't keep it for long.
I mean, I think the base design is fine. It looks fine for a beauty class trainer, but the posing is, I think, what throws it off. I'm thinking... What are you thinking?
Bravo.
I was thinking C, B, C,
That's what
so...
I was thinking, these two. Bravo.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and
Charlie.
stick it in. We'll stick it in B. Alright, so the biker. I think that's the official name. So a lot of these trainer classes have their names changed later on, so I don't actually remember what they all are. The biker. I like the posing. He has the spiky, mohawk thing going on. That works for him. A lot of the characters have that in Gen 1, actually. Yeah, honestly, it works really well because you can tell that he's supposed to be, driving by and throwing the Pokeball back. So, honestly, that's pretty good use of a Gen 1 sprite instead of just having a static character standing there. I would actually give that one an S in regards to Gen 1.
No one really likes the beauty anyway. That's what I did too.
I'm just now realizing you can't really see some of the S-class tiers or A-class, at least the ones that are closer to the front. I'm stupid. I'm sorry, but I took too long to record this. I'm not going to redo it or throw it all away. So, enjoy. Wow, I know, YouTubers hardly ever put things in S for some reason, but if I like something, I'm going to put it in there. Now, onto the Bird Keeper, or Bird Tamer, whatever it's called here. I don't think the Mohawk works on it. They change it in later games, but there's just some characters that have the Mohawk in these earlier games that I don't think works for him in their types of trainers. I mean, he's still just kind of a bird trainer.
You said like a cage or something.
Yeah, it's a cage, kind of like they have in later games too. Honestly, he's just kind of standard. I'd say... I would say C, but
It's not.
the Mohawk kind of ruins it for me. What are you thinking? D, yeah. Alright, black belt. Alright, so the black belt here is in a different pose than what we usually see him. He's usually in some sort of, fighting stance.
He's in, the throw pose.
He does, and it's a different kind of style than what the black belt kind of has, but it works. It's still kind of standard, but he's at least like posing instead of just kind of standing there. So I'd say at least a B.
Yeah, I'd say B too. I don't think he's worthy of quite an A.
Right. He's not doing anything too special. Alright, Bug Catcher. I like the Bug Catcher's design, but this kid is literally just sitting there.
And he's just sitting there, and then look at his face. He looks like he's an evil kid.
Right. I mean, they all look kind of angry, and I try to let that slide with Gen 1 at least.
Not
but
angry, but that kid looks like evil. Gosh.
A lot of people do. I don't know. I'd say C. He's just so standard. What do you think?
I say C or D.
Yeah. Alright, next we've got the Burglar. Now, I'm a little conflicted on this one. He's got the bag behind him, right? Like he's getting away with the stuff like he does in other games. But he's proportioned weirdly, if that makes sense.
His legs look like really fat compared to
Yeah.
And it could just be like he's wearing sweats.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to go for like the baggy look.
Right. I don't like, at least it still gets kind of the point across of what he is, and he's at least like doing some sort of pose with him running with the bag. So, but I'd still probably say D. Just the posing probably saves him from an F. All right, next is the Channeler. The Channeler is way different in Gen 1 than it is in the later games, and I kind of like it. It's
what's supposed to be falling from his sword, I think.
It's like a weird mystical stick thing, I think, that has smoke coming from it. And then it's got a weird like straw hat.
It's in a like dreads with a rat tail.
So it's in a more basic pose, but because of what it is and what it's doing, I think it works well for it. I'd say it's I don't think, like, it's kind of a weird design, so I don't think it would necessarily go straight into S. But I think it's deserving of probably an A. Alright, this is the cool trainer. This is the, it's basically Ace Trainers before Ace Trainers were a thing. Obviously, they went for the whole whip thing because I guess whipping your Pokemon makes them listen to you better and makes you cool, I guess. I mean, They're both in dynamic poses with the whips. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like the girl is maybe designed a little more originally than the boy, but at the same time, like, it's a super old game with short hair.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, other characters can get away with having their hair look good, even if it's kind of short. Something like this, or like the,
This.
Yeah. So, for the girl, I'd probably say a B, and for the boy, I'd probably say a C. Ow, my knee. Alright, next we've got the Cue Ball, later known as the Roughneck. He's a tough guy. I think that's also a whip he's holding.
Of course it is.
He's designed well. His facial expression is done pretty well, even for the what they had to work with. But just like with the Bug Catcher, he's just kind of standing there, not doing anything. I'd say yeah. I mean, like, he's designed well, but he's not doing much. That's probably an easy C.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're not like putting things over other things, whether or not they're, you know, better. Like, we're not gonna put the Cue Ball over them if it's better, just because we have multiple tier lists, and that would just take way too much thinking. Alright, next is the Engineer. There's literally I'm pretty sure there's only one Engineer in the games he's in.
But does not look like a whip he's holding. It looks more like a
It's like a socket, I think or a wrench.
Or a wrench.
It's some sort of like electrical equipment. He's in a pose. Kind of hard to tell. Are those his cheeks on his face?
I think so, and that's what I don't like. He has like a square head though. See it?
Yeah, I mean he's posed okay, and he looks like a person, but like you can't exactly tell he's an engineer. If you saw that and it didn't tell you an engineer wants to battle, when you know it's an engineer. I mean, then again, like how do you tell that something's like a I mean, I guess let's look at the cue ball or roughneck for example. I mean, at least looking at him, you can tell that he's like one of those more rough, you know, like sort of bad dudes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say the engineer here is probably either a C or a D.
I'd probably go with a D just because.
I feel bad because like he's one of the rarest trainer classes there is, but all right, Fisherman. Fisherman is posed in a way you can at least tell he's a fisherman. He's not exactly posed in a fitting way for a fisherman though, like he is in later games.
I don't know if that's counts as a pose. Just, I mean, I guess technically it could count that as a pose. The bug catcher.
Right. Yeah. True. I'd say he's probably an easy C. You can tell what he is, but he's not exactly doing anything interesting. There we go. Next is the Gambler. Now, I actually really like this sprite. It can be a little hard to tell what it's supposed to be. He's supposed to like be doing one of those scams where like he like puts the pea in the cup and like spins it around and you're supposed to guess the right one, and obviously it's a scam, so I guess
like
wrong.
A
A jester?
The way he's dressed.
Yeah. That is the one problem he has, is he's posed perfectly for what he is, but it is a little hard to tell what's going on in there. You kind of have to know what he is to see the pose the right way. For that, I'd probably say he's a C as well, just because he pulls off the pose. He's just not exactly easy to tell what he is, like, say, the bug catcher or the fisherman.
Alright, Mr. Monopoly.
Mr. Monopoly, easy.
Clear S.
Clear
Easy
S.
S.
Clear S.
Mr. Monopoly.
We don't even have to talk about it.
No, you can put him in front of the biker
the
too.
pose doesn't even matter. Mr. Monopoly, you're mwah, mwah. You're one of the family. So the hiker. The hiker isn't necessarily posed, but at the same time, what exactly are you supposed to pose a hiker as?
I don't know, like...
I don't think they've
I mean,
ever
I guess
actually posed him in the
technically
games.
his right hand he could hold like a hiker.
He is holding like his walking stick at least. And like you can tell he's like a bigger, rougher dude ready for...
Like he... And that travels on to like the next 5
Yeah.
generations.
And he's not... I'd say one of his only real problems is that it's a little... Just because it's old, it's a little hard to tell that his beard is a beard.
To me, it looks like...
But I think that just...
silly.
yeah, I think that just holds him back from an A and puts him in B. Why are some of these showing up as PNGs but not others? They are all PNGs. Now that I think about it. Jesse and James. Okay. So, these are the ones from Pokemon Yellow. So we won't judge their coloring just because that's all Yellow can do. They're posing.
Like they always do.
Yeah, they're actually posing pretty
They're posing
accurate to what they do in the
pretty
show.
good.
James has his rose.
And you can tell
Jessie's sort of doing her
you
like...
can tell that she's turned around like
Right.
this.
Right. I mean, Team Rocket obviously doesn't have anything too special for him going on when it comes to what to do with a pose. But, I mean, like, if the show had already been going on, I feel like maybe if just Meowth had been worked into the pose somehow, without being part of the battle, it might have been able to push him into S. But I think they're at least a solid A.
I say they're F. Meowth holds them all the way up.
Alright, next is the Junior Scout girl and boy, later known as the Picnicker and Camper. They are supposed to be like Boy Scout, Girl Scout troops. They're posed.
They're both posed.
And I think that's great because, like, I think they're doing, yeah, they're posed just fine for
like
what
she
they
has
are. There's
to-
not exactly much you can do with them.
Yeah, her pose looks like she just threw a box of Thin Mints at you.
A box of... That's awful. Yeah, she looks like she's trying to stop something. He looks like he's getting ready to, like...
throw his Pokeball, like, really hard.
Oh, yeah.
For no reason.
Like, winding up to throw a Pokeball, probably.
There's nothing in his pocket. I mean, in his hands, though.
Right. I mean, they're solidly designed, too. You can easily tell what they're supposed to be. They're at least a solid B.
I might put the boy in A. The girl kind of has her, like, legs bent like this, kind of.
Oh, I see that. I see that. That's kind of weird.
He's got, like, a...
I think it's supposed to be like a... I don't know.
Firm pose.
Yeah, actually, I would agree with that. That's kind of weird. I didn't realize her legs were bent like that.
Actually, she's on her tiptoes, about to, like, fall.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She can't handle the thing.
Next is the Juggler. Juggler...
Honestly, he doesn't look such like a juggler. To me, he looks like he could be like some guy that used to be the champion or something.
Yeah, jugglers always kind of have that weird, like, caped royalty look, I think, or whatever it's
Just
called.
because I guess most jesters wear capes.
I think the fact that there's multiple balls kind of helps to show that he's juggling.
It was clear that he was juggling in the first place because he has 4 Pokeballs. I wonder if a 5th one's up.
Right. And he's not exactly posed any more than that, but he's supposed to be a more serious version of a juggler than, say, like the Harlequin in Gen 5.
Yeah.
So...
Also, how are you supposed to pose in a juggler while you're juggling, too?
Right. His hair, I was talking about it before, but it is a little... off, but I don't think it's off enough to really affect anything. I'd say he's a solid A.
I'd agree.
Next is the Lass. Lass is... she's designed okay. It's obvious to tell she's a girl. She's just a girl. Not posed any way too special. She's kind of got that whole double arm bend thing going on. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, not too many special things you can do with a Lass. Just because the sprite's small, her arms do get a little jumbled up there in the middle. But I mean, it's not too bad. You can still obviously tell that she's not, missing arms.
Yeah, I mean, to me, she already looks 20 times better than the one from Gen 8. I don't like that one. It's
Really? I like the last in Gen 8.
She's annoying.
I'd say she's a solid B. She's designed well. She's doing what she's meant to do.
Yeah.
I still don't get what pose the beauty's going for. Alright, next is the Pokey Maniac. After actually going through all the sprites and models and stuff, the Pokey Maniac got shafted in later games. In Gen 1 and 2, he's supposed to be like this sort of like cool looking, edgy sort of thing. Kind of like, it makes me think of Chaz Princeton.
Looks like a rat.
You'll see what I mean later when we talk about Pokemaniac. Now, he's designed pretty cool, but for a Pokemaniac, I mean...
he's just standing there, really.
Yeah, he's really just standing there holding out a
The
Pokeball.
pose isn't... it's not really a pose, it's just holding a Pokeball.
Yeah, he's designed well, but he's not designed for anything. I don't know. He's just kind of bland. He doesn't really have anything wrong with him, but I'd say he's probably a C. Alright, what was this guy? Was this guy the Psychic? Yeah, okay. This is the Psychic. It's a little hard to tell.
Well, I kind of get it. I was going to ask that because he has the Pokeballs floating around him.
I think the thing that changes it a bit is that he doesn't have any sort of like mystical aura around the balls like Psychics usually do in later games.
Even like...
makes it a little hard to tell that he's, making them float.
Then again, it's still Gen 1.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know if they could. I mean, I guess they could have done something... even if they had just kind of made it the same sort of color as the Juggler's hair as like a blobby form around the balls. That might have made it a bit better.
yeah.
And he's not exactly like posed or anything.
He's just sitting there.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess as a Psychic, the fact that the balls were floating around him kind of does that for him. But at the same time, again, the balls aren't really...
He looks more like a scientist to me.
That's what I was thinking, but then I saw the floating balls and I was like, wait, no. Yeah, he's probably, what? C. Yeah.
There's no middle.
What was this guy?
He looks like
This guy was the Shocker? Rocker. Okay. Well, as you just saw, I could not tell what he is. He's posed pretty well, but you can't exactly tell what he's doing.
He's holding the whip just out. I guess like he's about to drop a microphone, but it's hard to tell because like everyone else is pretty much holding a whip. So,
right.
Like it just looks like he's holding a whip instead of like.
Yeah.
It does look like he's about to drop it. Like
maybe he's going to drop the whip like you drop a mic, but.
That's what I was thinking. The way he's holding it too, like he's not holding it by the handle, he's holding it by the whip itself. He's
got an interesting hairstyle, but you can at least tell that, like, you can tell pretty well looking at his arms that he's supposed to be like buff. But again, it's just kind of hard to tell what he is, and he's posed okay. But I'd say, I'd say C as well. Alright, so as for Team Rocket Grunt, I don't know how to feel about this one. Like, you can tell he's a Team Rocket member, he's got a whip and stuff, but his proportions are so weird.
Look at his chin.
He's so skinny, and like he's got big ears, as you can tell. But like you see that weird like bend in his arm, and then like look at his hand.
Is he supposed to be doing like this or something?
Yeah, it's
it's not done well, which probably gets him a spot in D.
I would say D as well. Yeah. I mean, like, you can at least tell that it's...
too bad on his head or face.
Right. I am glad they kind of redesigned the Rocket Grunt later on, though.
And then again, it could be he's jumping or something, I don't know. Because the way his feet look, it looks like they were trying to make it look like the back foot was clearly behind.
Right. So, the Sailor. I think the Sailor's done well. You can actually tell it's a Sailor. He's buff. He's got that sort of like tough guy pose going on. And a nice touch is that you can actually tell that he has a tattoo.
It's an anchor tattoo too.
You can tell. And I think that actually helps him a lot. Honestly, he's at least a solid A.
Yeah.
Next is the Scientist, and
I do not like that at all.
Yeah, no, I don't know what went wrong
balling
here.
up his fists, and he has it like this.
I don't know what went wrong.
He looks like a walking square.
I keep thinking that his coat hanging behind him is a rip in his pants or something.
Same, but
yeah, they really screwed him up. Honestly,
it's just not fair. I mean,
he's not doing a special pose. Proportions are bad. You can tell he's a scientist, but that's only because he's wearing a lab coat with glasses.
But those glasses, though.
Those glasses are. Where's his chin?
Wait, no. Where is the chin? Where's his mouth?
Yeah, I think he's probably. I think he's our first F, honestly.
I'd probably say an F too. Well, here's their second F right behind him. The drug addict.
No, so the super nerd, actually, I really like this design. He's not supposed to like look cool or anything. He's supposed to be like nerdy.
A nerd who just
he's on the ground.
Up.
Yeah, he's on the ground because like he's obviously been beat up. It's a really good pose. It's different from everything else that people have.
I guess it is like he just fell off the glasses, but his face is so weird.
I think, honestly, just with how they characterize him alone, I think that gets him into S. But I mean, like,
because of like the feature, I don't know. His hair is terrible. Like,
well, yeah, but his hair's supposed to make him look like a
the scientists
sort of a loser.
At least have like that it has like the slicker hair, like you would see on a nerd or a scientist.
Well, yeah, but the super nerd's supposed to be more of like a loser than a
guy in the mom's basement. I'd give him an A.
Okay, we'll go with A.
No, I'd give him an F, but you're saying S, so...
The swimmer? I don't know what's going on here.
I think he's looking at you, but
I think he's supposed to be like diving
about
in,
to dive
but
off.
he looks more like he's about to do the chicken dance.
It does. But at least
And his
I think he's one of
proportions
the
are
only
weird.
ones that doesn't look angry.
Yeah, he's one of the few that doesn't look angry. You know what's funny? One of the actual criminals is one of the ones that doesn't look angry.
He looks happy. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, the swimmer, I think it suffers from the same sort of problem as the beauty, where it's just posed super
It's
weird.
The pose is weird.
But at the same time, like, the swimmer, like, he's proportioned kind of weird, too. It's not like he's at least proportioned well, like the beauty is. I'd say he's probably a D. A low D, or... Yeah, I think just the fact that you can at least tell what he is keeping him out of F. Because, like, recognizing a swimmer is a little bit more of a feat than recognizing a scientist, in my opinion.
I don't know why you like the super nerd so much. It looks so dumb.
It doesn't matter if it looks, like, cool or not. It's whether or not the sprite is good for the character. The tamer.
Looks like the dude from
I don't know what's the deal with the
House.
tamer. I don't know what's the deal with the tamer.
What is
It's-
on his, like, wrist? It looks like a portal.
That's not... Oh, no, he's holding a lollipop.
Oh, that looks like a portal.
I don't know why he's holding a lollipop. I looked stuff up. I could not find out why he's holding a lollipop. He's not exactly posed in any special way.
Kid and take their lollipop.
He's got a ponytail. At least you can tell that.
Yeah.
But, like, he's not doing anything special. I don't know. I'd say he's probably just a D, just because...
It doesn't make sense to hold a lollipop for him.
I don't understand it. If I ever find out, I guess I'll edit it into the video, but... Alright, so the original Youngster, I actually really like this design, because it's like what the Youngster, it kind of... It's just what the Youngster is, like some small, cocky kid eyeing you down, ready for a battle. Yeah, arms crossed and stuff, and it's simple, but it works.
They kind of did mess up his arms a little, just like they did for the last. When it got to the middle, instead of being like this, it kind of...
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's a little easier to tell than it is on the last,
yeah,
but...
it's a little easier, but, like, looks more like they're coming, like his fists are coming up.
Or it almost looks like he just has, like, stubs and he's like this. I don't know, I'd say he's at least a solid A.
I'd give him an A too. He's not bad. I figured out what he looks like. He looks like the dude from Monster House. Who lost his red kite.
He kind of does. Bones. Alright, and with that, on to Gen 2. So, Gen 2 improves a lot on Gen 1, even if some of the sprites are similar.
Yeah, you can definitely tell what they are.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the posing, the bodywork, yeah. The proportions are all so much better. I guess let's start with the next beauty. Honestly, every problem that we had with the beauty before, I think, is fixed in this one. She is posed. Yeah, she's posed like, I guess, a way that's fitting of a beauty. She's sort of like, she's doing the winking thing.
The pool or something.
Yeah, or like on the beach.
As you say, it kind of does look like one of the beach girls.
Yeah.
Later on.
She's definitely doing what she's supposed to do. By being like the beauty, I guess, like supposed to look like
change the biker
flirtatious and stuff. The bike. So some of them didn't actually change.
The bikers.
They just got some of their color.
A little pointier, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts it any.
I don't think it hurts it any.
I think now that there's actual colors, we need to start considering color as well when we look into things. Beauty, I don't think color affects beauty at all. I think she's a solid A.
I don't even think they show any like shadowing. Yeah, I'd say an A.
Now the biker was an S before.
I'd give
and its pose, everything is still great about it, except I feel like they kind of messed up with the color a bit, especially with the bike and where he's sitting on the bike.
Yeah, do you see the top of his head? Is that supposed to be like the light, or
it's supposed to be like light reflection.
It looks like a little too much light compared to his other skin tone.
That's kind of all they can do, though. I think he was just supposed to have a darker skin tone.
Yeah.
But he's still a solid A. They just kind of goofed up on his color a bit. Birdkeeper, I still don't think the mohawk works.
It doesn't work. I still say he's a D.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
color-
he's still posed the same way too, but they got rid of his bird in some versions. He still has that bird in some versions. So I'm not going to count that as an issue with his pose, but yeah, he still just doesn't work with the mohawk.
Yeah. They did do pretty well on, like, the coloring.
Yeah, the coloring, the blue overalls was a good choice. That kind of sticks with the Birdkeeper for a while. Now, the black belt is posed really well here, I
Really
think.
well
It
for
hides some
him.
of his body, but it doesn't matter because it's just...
Just because it hides some of his body.
It's a-
It's showing that he's punching.
Yeah, and it's
clearly.
honestly a really powerful looking punch, even with just the single sprite. Honestly, coloring of the skin is great.
Last time
He doesn't really need any coloring on the outfit, of course. I'd say he's a solid A.
Yeah. Hey, look, he moved up a rank.
Now, the snowboarder,
Clearly looks like a snowboarder.
it's... Yeah, you can tell really easily what it's supposed to be. And not only that,
face though.
it's he's wearing the goggles, like snowboarding goggles. Honestly though, he's posed really well, and his coloring is actually really good too for a snowboarder. I'd actually probably say he's the first S for this one.
Yeah.
So the bug catcher. They gave him a pose. He's doing something. But his proportions got a little wonked out, I think. I know he's a kid,
His eyes.
but they made him kind of stubby. Like, look at his legs compared to his arms.
Yeah, his legs look a little stubby. Like he doesn't have feet, actually.
Right.
And
Especially when you compare the length of his legs to his arms. It really starts to sort of become apparent that his proportions were messed up a little. The colors are fine.
I do think it's nice that he kept his little.
Bug box.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. I mean, everything's really fine except for his proportions. I'd say he's probably a B.
Brings him up from a C.
The burglar.
I like it already 10 times better than I did the other one.
Yeah, he definitely looks better proportionate wise. He's still sort of like short, but you can tell that he's like not stubby like it was before, like Chibi or whatever he was.
I'd give him a B.
Yeah, his coloring I think could have probably been better, but yeah, he's still a pretty good B.
I understand why they didn't do like the classic black on burglar, because that would just be like...
Oh yeah, that would have blended in.
It would have blended in way too well.
I think maybe like a red sort of like this might have worked better.
Maybe.
So this is the camper. Green for Boy Scouts was a
It was a big
good
thing.
choice. It was a good choice for them.
While we're at it, let me just read the one right there.
Yeah, I don't know why it's there. Can I move it further over here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Picnicker and Boy Scouts. They're both in they're in different poses now than before. The boy still looks angry.
He looks angry, but this time his arms are like...
I think the girl is pushing up her hat.
And she's not... Her pose got
Right.
a lot better.
Yeah, she's not like trying to stop
throwing
it.
thin
Yeah.
mix at me anymore.
I mean, yeah, proportionate wise, they're great. Colors are great. You can tell what they are. Their poses are a little more bland from before, but you can, like, they're still posing.
This time
I'd
I'd
say
probably
they're-
switch some places. B and C.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Girl gets a B.
The girls-
Guy gets a C.
Yeah. Because, like, he's posed still, but it's more, I don't get what he's trying to do there. It's more like, it's like he's like, is he trying to act like a bear? Well, I mean, like, for real, though, because, like, they tell you, like,
They
to,
tell
like,
you to look big
yeah.
and menacing. I don't think that's what he's going for. I think he's looking for that, like, evil pose. Not evil pose, I mean, strong pose.
Right.
It
So
looks like he's a twig.
next up is the cool trainers, ace trainers. I also included their stadium versions just because they're different enough from their normals.
Definitely. The dude doesn't look old.
I don't know why they gave him white hair there.
Although I do like the outfits better for the older
Yes, I
versions.
think the sprite versions have better outfits. Especially
Even pose.
yeah. Well, I mean, the stadiums are gonna be a little like just because they're stadium ones, they're just portraits, so they don't really get poses, unfortunately. I'm not sure whether or not to judge that way or not, but for what it's worth, their coloring's good. The boy's hair, I think white still works on him.
White works, and it doesn't look like he's old. It just gives him an older look.
Right. I think the girl's pose is better than the boy's. She's like diving for the Pokeball. He's just giving a thumbs
or
up.
is she throwing the Pokeball?
I don't know.
It's hard to tell what she's doing
But
in her pose.
the thumbs up, while simple, still works for the cool trainer just because, he's cool.
It works better for the older sprite, though. I don't know what they were trying to do here.
I don't know. I'd say the boy is probably, well, I don't know. They both have their advantages and weaknesses. I'd say they're both probably a solid
C.
B. Well, I would say B. Why were you thinking C?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just because it's just like that bland thumbs up and her pose. It's hard to tell what she's doing. It doesn't look like she's going for the Pokeball. It looks like she's tossing it in the air and about to throw it or something.
Could be what she's doing. And for their stadium versions,
Let's see.
while they get the benefit of the doubt because they're portraits, yeah, I'd still probably say... Actually, I would say the girl would be C, the boy would probably be D. Her hairstyle is at least creative. He is just a bland boy.
I mean, his hairstyle is not bad in this. Because it kind of still matches that.
It still
With the
matches,
3 spikes.
but like
but
they didn't even give him
For
the
his
white
pose,
hair to...
it's not like an outward thumbs up, like, where that works.
Mhm.
It's like a, yeah.
Yeah, I actually still think that C and D. The fire breather.
Definitely clear to tell she's a
I-
fire breather.
Yeah, I really like it. One reason that I actually think this is probably an S tier one is because if you look closely, you can see the light on him that the fire he's breathing is causing.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's posed well for the fire breathing. He's proportioned well. He's colored great.
They even did a good job of trailing it back.
Yeah. He's an S definitely.
I do like that they put a Pokeball at the tip of his head.
I didn't ever notice that was a Pokeball. Good eye. Alright, next is the Fisher. This Fisher, I'm gonna go ahead and give my thoughts on it. I think he's an A. He's posed well, because he's, actually fishing. He's got more of a grumpy personality than some other fishers, but I think that works just, because he's a fisher. I don't know if that makes sense.
It works. I know what you mean, too. Like,
His
grumpy,
colors...
I know he's not a sailor, but like that grumpy sailorman.
Yeah.
Usually
And
people
his
on the boat
colors are a
fish.
little bland, but that works for what he is. That actually works for him better than, say,
I'm also
like a
wondering
green.
why he's wearing gloves. Is he? I mean, I guess if
I think
he's
it's
gonna
I think it's like special gloves to help you grip the fishing pole, in case you get
grip
like
the
a big
fishing
catch.
pole or just to get the fish.
Maybe both. I don't know. I'd say he's an A though.
Yeah. No, he's gotta be an F. Smoking equal bad.
Smoking, yeah.
well,
Smoking
S.
puts it over. Yep, Mr. Monopoly.
Mr. Monopoly's back with the S. I don't know. Just the pose. It's so good for him.
It's gonna suck because
He
the
looks
later on we get, the less he'll look like a Mr. Monopoly since it'll be more detailed.
He's more rich though. He looks like that billionaire.
Next is the guitarist.
I think that's what he is.
What is the outfit that the guitarist
What is the
is wearing?
face? Where's his other eyeball?
He's posed okay. The guitar looks good,
Is
but he's proportioned okay. But what is this design, man?
that I kind of get the clothes because, like, I get the, like, popping the fly.
Yeah.
You can tell
But
that
it's like,
there.
I can't tell what the pattern is
head
supposed to be. Is it supposed to be like a red, shiny material? Is it supposed to be patterned red?
His hair is white, which is unusual.
I think it's supposed to be like the long blonde hair that some rockers did back then. Like, Bon Jovi, maybe? I don't know.
Back then. That was way before then.
Well, I meant like he was supposed to be like imitating that sort of thing.
understand.
I don't know.
He has
I
a
don't really
Kermit the
care for it
Frog
though.
face. You
Yeah,
wanna see that
I
face?
honestly want to put him in D.
Maybe F. I'll give him D for now.
For now. Okay, Hiker, pretty much the same as before. They added some colors. I don't think the vest color works for him. I think the green that they give him later on works better.
I think the vest color
But his
would've
beard
worked.
looks better.
Yeah, I think the vest color would have worked if they gave him a different undershirt color.
Yeah. What was he before he was A, right?
A.
I'd say he still probably sticks in A.
Just because
it doesn't
his
like
beard
hurt
got
his.
better.
Yeah, and the purple doesn't hurt his design. It just doesn't make it better. Now I think the Juggler did get a bit worse here.
Yeah.
You can still tell that he's a juggler. His outfit and proportions are still good. His hair got a little bit weirder. I don't know. It just seems like it's hard to explain. Like if you look at the Kimono Girl next to him, there just seems like there's less quality.
Very much, but is he juggling master balls?
I think they're supposed to be well, I think they're just supposed to be Pokeballs, but
I think they are.
that match his color palette.
Well, they might supposed to be great balls because
I was gonna say there aren't that many Master Balls.
Yeah, I know, but like just because they're purple, they got the Master Ball. Right?
I don't know. I don't care much for his design, honestly. But I mean, he still does what he's supposed to do. I'd still give him a C. He's like right there in the middle for me. Now the Kimono Girl. I really like the Kimono Girl. She has those really long sleeves that they have. They did a really good job of making her hairdo apparent.
And coloring, like
her coloring's done really well. Especially, you can see like the slight, like how the coloring like fades with the light on her sleeves.
It seems to look like it was made later in the game, which it wasn't. But
I think they just did a really good job of her design and making the design work in game. Because, like, you know what they look like in the later games, that she matches it really well. I'd say she's... Actually, I'd say the Kimono Girl's an S. Now, the Lass. I think the Lass lost a bit in her design here. I mean, she's posed, but she's not really...
She doesn't look like a Lass anymore.
She looks more like a
Youngster girl version.
Or like, maybe... it's like a weird mixture between, like, a... Lass and an Ace Trainer, which doesn't... I don't know. I mean, like, she's not bad. She's designed okay. She's kind of bland. She's not exactly posed much either. That isn't helping her. She's holding the Pokeball weird. She's, like, holding it like... Get me my Pokeball. She's holding it like that, which is weird. But yeah, I'd say Lass, it's just kind of bland. I'd stick it in C, honestly. Now, this is the medium.
Oh my gosh, that scares the crap out of me.
The medium has a great design. It is like going crazy because
I get
it's the ghost stuff,
ghosts and stuff,
and spirits, and
I think she's waving around like garlic.
It's a special sort of bead. Those beads are actually taken out in the international version. I think it's got something to do with religion. Probably. I don't really know, but like she's posed well. On her knees and stuff, and she's just got the best expression on her face.
She looks like she's screaming for her life.
I think she's an S, honestly. Okay.
The Night Watchman.
I like the policeman sprite. Yeah. I like the policeman sprite, mainly because they did a really good job with the lens flare for the flashlight.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and he's posed well too. He's got his nightstick out and he's like patrolling or something or looking at something. You can tell he's a policeman because of his uniform. I don't want to put him in S because he's not doing anything too special, but sincerely just because of the lens flare, I think he's a good A. I think his coloring, should have been a little more blue like this here instead of the purple. But yeah, maybe if I had done that, I would have put it in S. Next is the Pokey fans. I think the lady does a better job than the guy in this one. Although I like the little kid, like, come on, fight me, Pika-Pee.
The one me.
I don't know. I always just find it super endearing how the Pokey fan lady is always like, oh, like with her hands on her cheeks and stuff. She's surrounded by Pokey dolls and stuff. I don't know. I mean, they're solid designs. There's nothing too special about the Pokey fans. There usually isn't, unless it's involving like their children in some of them. I'd say the lady's probably, I don't know. I mean, neither of them are too bad. I'd say they're both a good B. Next is the Pokemaniac again.
I got lost.
In
the weirdness of scientists.
I like this sprite for the Pokemaniac a lot more than the first one.
The first one, yeah. This one he actually looks crazy.
You can see that like kind of crazed look on his face. He's not doing anything too special with his pose, but the fact that his cape or jacket thing is like sort of flowing in the wind helps the design a lot. The colors work well for him. Even like the fact that they like paid attention to the detail of the inside color of the jacket. Honestly, he's easily at least an A for me.
I'd say an A too. And again, I'm gonna have to say Sidekicks in the C.
Yeah.
That one looks like he's wearing a
He's at least holding his hand up this time. But at the same time, it still just now it just looks more like he's tossing the balls up and down somehow.
True, and it also just kind of looks like he's wearing a bathrobe.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. I think he probably drops down to D, man. They kind of goofed him up even more than last time, in my opinion.
Hello, Sakurai here to present to you the worst joke of today's video. We know it's a little hard to watch through it, but please be patient and enjoy.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double!
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jesse!
James!
Team Rocket, blast off at the speed of light!
Surrender now or prepare to fight!
Meow, that's right!
Alright, so for the Rocket executives, the admins and stuff, the generic sprites they used for all of them, even though they are actual characters, I think they did a good job. They are wearing fancy outfits, the same sort of stuff like Giovanni wears.
Looking menacing.
Yeah. His hairstyle is a little weird here, but, I mean, Giovanni has almost a shaved head, really, and he still looks menacing. Yeah, I think it works fine. They've got the Rocket logo. She's got the dress thing going on.
No,
I think they're solid.
B's?
Yeah. She's posed a little more. I don't know.
I don't know. I would put him in C just because he's not really posed. It looks like...
But he's like walking towards you menacingly.
That's what
thing.
I get.
I think they're both a good B. I think you're right about that. So for the Rocket Grunts, they did a good job of changing up the male one to look more like it could be anyone, not just like the same person over and over. The Rocket female, I think it's supposed to be based on Cassidy, Butch and Cassidy. Hold on. Team Rocket Cassidy. I think it's supposed to be based on her with a different color hair.
She has more of like that Jessie.
Yeah, she's kind of like Jesse's counterpart. Cassidy and Butch are like rivals to Jesse and James. But yeah, I think it's supposed to be based off Cassidy, and it works well there. Alright, so next we've got the Sage. He's...
A monk.
Yeah, that's basically what it is a monk. He's praying, he's got his beads.
He's a ghost type, right?
No, sages are part of Bellsprout Tower where people train. They use Bellsprout.
Okay, I get it because if they all use it, that makes sense. But he looks like.
Well, I guess there's also some in the Bell Tower where Ho-Oh is. But well, actually, they're like in the Bell Tower, not like. I don't know because like it works for him, but at the same time, he's kind of bland. I'd say he's a C.
Yeah. No,
Alright.
I think I'm gonna have to knock the sailor down.
Yeah, same here.
They got rid of his tattoo.
They still got him in a
maybe
good
it's on
pose,
it,
and the
but-
coloring's okay, but yeah, the edges seem a little wobbly.
And then the big plus was the tattoo last time.
Yeah.
Did we put him in S or A?
He was an S last time. I think he's at least a good A this time,
An
because
A.
everything else is still good. They just kind of made him wobbly and took out some of his detail.
If we weren't out of room, I'd put him in B.
We aren't out of room. It slides over.
Okay,
I just realized we're not in presentation mode. Alright, next is the school kid. He really just kind of looks like a youngster. I mean, which is what he is, but like, how do you know? How can you tell?
Is that like
I think it's a
backpack?
lunchbox. I think it's a lunchbox.
Where's the lunchbox kid?
But yeah, I'd say he's just a C. I mean, oh no, actually, he's a D.
Yeah.
He's not
I
anything.
don't-
He's really bland. Which, I mean, like, I guess a lot of kids are, but at the same time, they're not even trying to, like, show that he's
I wonder.
going to school or something.
I don't know. The scientist.
They
still
fixed the
looks
scientist proportions, but his face still looks off. His
terrible.
coloring is good, though.
Yeah.
I'd
Give
say
him
he's
an F.
probably...
I
He's
don't
probably a
like
C.
him. I don't know why. I just don't like him.
I don't like this version of the scientist either.
Maybe give
but-
him a D. He was an F last. Give him A rank.
What?
He was an F.
What? No.
Oh, nowadays in
It's too away. I think he has a tear in his jeans too. That's a neat little detail. I don't know. He's still just kind of weird looking.
I'd give him a D. It's still a rank up.
The skier they did a really good job with, just like the snowboarder.
Yeah. Are we gonna put him in the same class?
Yeah, I honestly like the coloring is great. She's posed in a way that fits a skier.
Yeah, it looks like
She's proportionate.
She's looking to the
She's got a good
side.
expression on her face. Yeah, she's pretty good.
I don't know, S or A.
Well, I mean, like, what else are they gonna do for a skier? If they have her in a jumping position, that blocks a lot of the rest of her body and kind of puts her design down, in my opinion.
True.
I don't know. I guess it would depend on how they posed it, but
Alright, you can go ahead and put the nerd in the S now. He was an A last time, which I did not agree with at all.
I don't know. It kind of takes away like what he is.
But he looks
Like
doesn't
he's
look like
he's
Bones.
more confident now. His proportions are better and he's colored better. But what's he supposed to be? Can you tell what he's supposed to be now looking at him?
nerd.
I think he's dropped down to B. He's still okay, but okay. Next we've got the swimmer. She sort of serves the same purpose as the beauty in this one. Supposed to be like flirtatious. Yeah.
Fix your wing. It's inappropriate.
I think her legs are proportioned a little weirdly, but I think that's really the only problem.
Yeah, and I guess I get it because she's bending down.
Yeah, I mean she's supposed to be bending down. I just don't think they
Okay,
did
how's
that the
Pokeball
best.
staying there though?
I think she's tossing it. Like,
Oh, I get it, but
oh no.
not like that,
Yeah,
Kaya.
I don't know. I mean, she gets what she's supposed to do done. Her proportions were a bit off. I'd say she's probably
An A.
a B as well. A?
A or B. That's what I was thinking. I thought you always go with the higher version.
Wait, hold on. Count her fingers. 1, 2, 3. Okay, she has all 5 fingers.
If we were counting fingers, why didn't we count fingers last time? All of them had like 3.
I only was counting them because, like, you can see her individual fingers.
Also,
The swimmer is posed better this time.
I still want to put him in the same spot we put him last time, just because.
Yeah.
Now he's positioned better, but his
The swimmer
arms
is
look
still
like
just
he's
a little
already
awkward.
Swimming.
Well, I think he's supposed to just be, like, doing the motion of swimming to show that he's a swimmer, but... Yeah, he's still a little weird. Where did we put him last time?
I think we put him in B.
We did?
I'd give him a C.
Yeah.
Alright, now count her fingers. You did the same thing.
So, the teacher is a little hard to choose on. She's not posed in any, like, special way, but at the same time, she's a teacher. You can tell that she's, like, looking down at a desk or at a student or something,
She's
scolding
kinda
them. S. Just because of the insinuation that she whips her students if they don't
Alright,
do
now
good.
the next one is an F. Look at their faces.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the twins here.
Look at this. Look at this. Why is this eye lower than this eye?
Do they have lipstick on? Yeah, they're definitely an F. Their proportions are so weird. They have lipstick, I think. Their eyes are off.
Their outfits.
Are
Are those supposed to be cats on them?
I don't know.
And if so, they did pretty good with the cats.
Alright, what is the youngster?
I'd give
I
him
think
an
he still
A.
does what he's supposed to do really well, yeah.
An A, probably.
Yeah, pretty much the same as before. The youngster is just supposed to be like the simple, cocky kid. Alright, and that's Gen 2. We will save this.